All right, so what's up? This is the second episode of J&Wil, and I got my paper. Let me get my paper out. All right, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is black coaches in the NFL. So that's the first topic, black coaches.
That's right up my alley.
In the NFL, and Brian Flores' lawsuit, which reflects widespread discontent among black coaches over NFL hiring and practices. Also, it says that in 32 head coaches positions, there's just one African-American and two minority coaches right now.
Yep, that one coach is out of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's can't think of his name off the top of my head. I don't know why, because I've been watching him for the last 15 years. It's only one coach in the NFL, and that's been a problem for a very long time. Sometimes they might sprinkle in 2 or 3 here and there, but for the most part, the NFL, they're making a lot of money on black athletes. And the thing about that is that like 80%, and I might have inflated that number just a little bit, is all blacks that are athletes in the NFL. That's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what Brian Flores is trying to say, is that the goal of his lawsuit is to bring opportunities to coaching and executive positions in the NFL, considering that majority of the star athletes are black and only a few are head coaches, and only a few of them are in executive positions. But I don't even watch football. I stopped watching sports like a long time ago, so I don't even know.
I follow it. I'm a Miami Dolphin fan. Shout out to the Dolphins. But Brian Flores is the coach, was the coach of the Dolphins, and he trying to turn our team around. That's the crazy part. Last year, he lost 7 games straight, and they went on an 8-game winning streak. They came short of going to the playoffs. But still, what he did for that team in the last 3 years that he was the coach, there was white coaches that had longer tenures than him that did a lot worse than what he did.
Yeah, they're leaving off of a pretty successful season, actually.
Yeah,
considering, and a lot of the players, well, at least one of the players I saw online was saying that he was looking forward for the next season, that momentum, building off of that momentum. And he was saying that he arrived to the meeting late, and when he arrived to the meeting, Flores was saying, I'm out, I'm fired. And he said he was shocked because he was like, we don't know what a new coach is going to bring. It's going to be hard to get the camaraderie back. It's going to be hard to basically build off of the momentum that he had. And they didn't understand. It was like they just ripped the rug from up under him, because it wasn't like he was underperforming. But the thing is that where was he at when Cap was, taking a knee? That's what I would like to know.
No, he wasn't a coach. He was an assistant coach for the New England Patriots.
Okay, well, where was he at?
As far as protesting,
he was somewhere.
Yeah, he was on their staff, and he wasn't going to jeopardize his career to become a head coach to take a knee.
So he waited until he got fired to actually speak up. So he been on the plantation.
Yeah, so absolutely.
So there's a lot of people who we already noticed it was a plantation, because what a lot of people don't know about the NFL and the NBA is that they distract us with these players. They pay them all of this money, which we consider is a lot of money. They give them all these bonuses. They make them popular, make them famous. They give them all these endorsements, and then we just lose our damn minds. But I saw the trick to it, because, it's somebody who sits in a luxury box every game. They don't have to do no practice. They don't have to run up and down no damn field. They don't have to do anything. All they have to do, they can invite people to this luxury box. They sit there. They don't have to soak in ice because they in pain. They don't have to do icy hot.
Sipping on champagne and wine.
They don't have to do icy hot commercials after they retire. And I'm not hating on Shaq. I'm just saying, these are people who've been doing football for seasons, people's careers, and they still in football, and they don't run up and down no field, and they sign everybody's check on the team, and that's the owner. So how can you say it's not? I mean, we're not saying that, but I'm just saying the people who are saying that, it's like a plantation. Well, where the hell y'all been? It's been like that, because you can be a famous football player and they just push your ass through school just because you're good at sports. They don't do that with everybody. And then not just that, once they push you through school, they have you sign these contracts, and what they surround you with, a bunch of white men to manage you. And so now that they surround a bunch of white men around you to manage you, they put you out in front as like a hero or as some sort of a king or a hero, when really the real hero is the person who owns the team. And I don't understand why black players, how we don't have at least 50. We've had multi-million-dollar sports players in the NBA and in the NFL. And how come not 50 of them come together and say, let's start our own league?
Oh, that's because
Let's take our ball and go away and start our own thing. I mean, why not be independent? I mean, that's what, because the only reason I'm saying that is because everything is about what's the next level. Like everything that people do, that we as human beings do, is always like, okay, what's the next level once you reach the pinnacle? Okay, so once you retire in football, the move is not to own a league or to own a team.
Yeah, that's definitely the move. That's definitely the move.
Where the black people doing it?
That's the same thing that I thought about when I was doing my trucking. I was working for somebody, and then I was like, I got to own my own trucking company. So that's what I did.
Right.
But,
you see, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so that's why I can relate to what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense, but that's just on a whole different level. See, what it is that, it's a $1 billion industry, and you say the plan.
But see, the thing is, how is it? It's a $1 billion industry built off the backs of the players.
Right.
So yeah, we say the NFL is a $1 billion industry. He's right. He's totally right. They rack in billions of dollars every year through the NFL. But the thing is, what are they without the players? Because none of them fat dudes in them luxury boxes getting their ass out there running down no field.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. But
what was the bus boycott? It was a bunch of black people who came together and said, you know what, we're not going to ride the bus, but they did it as a unit, and they stopped riding the bus, and they made an impact, and they made a difference. So that black people didn't have to go to the back of the bus, but that was a sacrifice. People had to walk. They had to do the buddy system. They had to carpool. They had to ride bikes, things like that, and everybody had to agree on it. So the thing is, why can't we get at least 50 basketball NBA players? Because look at it like this, man. You an NBA player. They paying you all of this money. You're seen as a hero in your community, a pseudo hero. But let one of your relatives or let a friend of yours get killed in your community. Your ass can go out there and take a knee and say, hey, I want to use my job and my position to bring awareness to what just happened in my community. So let me take a knee and use this position to do it. And if you black, like Kaepernick, they don't say, oh, hell no, you can't do that. We don't pay you to do that. But see, did everybody forget that Tim Tebow was taking a knee? They had little statuettes of him taking a knee to God, and nobody had a problem with that. So it's racist. I mean, it's obviously racist.
Yeah,
it's racist from the core of it. And we sit around every year as black people, and we still cheer for teams, and we still cheer for players, and we still support all of this, even though we know that it's a plantation. And we support it.
Well, it's entertainment, but it's real. It's definitely entertainment, and it's real.
It's real when you get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real when you get fired. He was comfortable until he got fired.
Yeah. Well, moving right along to the next subject.
All right, so the next subject we're going to be talking about is the Biden administration denies program for drug addicts includes free crack pipes.
What?
You didn't hear about that?
Nah.
All right, so they came out with this thing a few weeks ago, and it was saying that the Biden administration had $35 million, which they were going to be using for drug kits. And in these drug kits, they were passing out to people. They were going to be including crack pipes.
Okay, so what's the purpose of the crack pipes? What's the purpose of the crack pipe?
The purpose of the crack pipe in the drug kit would be for the people to smoke crack.
Man, come on, man.
And for them to have a clean pipe. This is good that I'm telling my brother this, because this is the first time he's hearing this. I didn't know this was the first time he's hearing this, so we get to get his reaction. So what's your reaction to that?
That's crazy.
Do you think that's possible?
I mean, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible.
Because I didn't think it was possible when I first heard it. When I first heard it, I thought it was a bunch of bullshit.
No, it's possible. They could do whatever. Well, but what's the reason behind it?
Okay. Let me get some more of the information.
So they promote drug use.
Okay. Well, no, the Biden administration said Wednesday that crack pipes are. Well, before I get to that point, you know that they did a thing. Well, they do this already. They've been doing this where they give people clean syringes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
They've been doing that in New York and other places where they give people clean syringes. And that's because to cut down
that's
on
not the
TB.
federal government, though.
It is. It is. It's to cut down on HIV, and that's to cut down on hepatitis. And so they give out clean syringes as a preventative as to be preventative. So that's what they do.
Okay,
So, but the thing, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So my thing is, okay, so that's if you're going into like a drug treatment center.
That's for organizations. If you got
organizations.
if you got a nonprofit 501c3 and you work with the homeless populations, if you are a church, you can apply for federal dollars, federal money to go pass out this stuff, to pass out drug kits.
So that's understandable.
So you can actually get money. But the thing about this is that the whole thing about the crack pipes was just misinformation. That was a lie. They never intended to have crack pipes in the packets.
Okay.
That was never something they intended to do. But just on the surface of it, who the hell is manufacturing $35 million worth of crack pipes? What company?
I don't even understand why they.
I mean, because if you want to buy syringes, there's plenty of people who sell syringes, who make them and sell them.
Well, syringes
but
can be used
crack pipe. Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, as far as the people who actually believed it. I never believed it. I never believed they was gonna be putting crack pipes, because I don't know a store you can go to and buy $35 million worth of crack pipes.
Well, I would have never believed that the United States was bringing in cocaine back in the 80s.
But what I'm saying is, but I'm saying, okay, but that did happen though, and that's believable. But who manufacturing and who produces $35 million worth of crack pipe?
You could go to any store right now and go buy a crack pipe.
Okay, so the federal government is not finna hire the Muslim store to produce the crack pipes. And know what? Those are pipes for marijuana use. Those are different. The ones for the crack, I ain't never smoked no crack. But I'm gonna tell you right now, they ain't gonna be using no weed pipe to smoke no crack.
Those are different. You talking about
right? So
weed bowls, they got the little small crack pipes with the little.
I know crackheads. We done sold dope before. They use some Choy Boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Choy Boy
with the little pipe.
They gotta have some sort of filter in there.
Yeah.
They gotta have that. But what I'm saying is, the government, there's nobody in place who has $35 million worth of crack pipes. You can just go and buy them. You can go buy syringes. You can't just go buy crack pipes, because Pookie and Lil Wee Wee and them down the street, they make their own crack pipe with whatever they can find. Come on, let's keep it real. Don't nobody go into the store and say, hey, let me get 5 crack pipes. Where?
No,
where?
I don't know, bro.
Okay, but we talking about $35 million worth of them.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of crack pipes.
We talking about $35 million worth of them. So if you're gonna ask General Electric, who make the light bulbs, you say, okay, we want to contract with you all to produce these crack pipes for us. Okay, what's the style of the crack pipe? Where does it go? Look, what kind of model we gonna put out? Yeah. I mean, come on, man, that shit don't even make sense on the surface of it.
Don't make sense.
Man,
but the point of the matter is that people smoke crack and
people
don't.
But see, it's a lot of people, man, when they put that thing out there that they were gonna be selling crack pipes. There's a lot of people heard that and said that's some of the dumbest shit I heard in my life. Then again, there's some other people who said, you know what? And them the people that I'm like, come on, man. There used to be something called the mind is a terrible thing to waste. It's the United Negro College Fund. They used to have it was called the mind is a terrible thing. Your brain will not blow up if you use it. And there's some people, I mean, because on the surface of that, man, ain't nobody producing crack pipes.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, not no $35 million worth of no goddamn crack pipes.
When you think about it, I don't even believe that. You see my reaction when you.
I mean, but what it is for is to make people, is to get a knee-jerk reaction out of people when they first hear that. You know, Biden them.
So you think it could be somebody against Biden administration?
That's exactly what
propaganda.
It is.
Okay,
man. They've been doing that for a long time. And Biden them, they do their own form of propaganda too.
Exactly, they do that.
Everybody got their own little form of propaganda. It's just about using your brain and not being tricked by it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody got a form of propaganda. They want everybody to believe what they want them to believe and think what they want them to think. But the thing about the crack pipes, you know, we as people, man, we got to stop falling for some of the stuff that these Republicans think we're so gullible to eat up.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't even, my mind's so far.
And racist too. It's racist too, people. It's racist people out there pushing a lot of this stuff, man. But see, the thing is, when Trayvon Martin got killed, wasn't nobody on our side when it came to that.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, nobody on our side. I mean, that was an injustice. That's something I will never, ever, as long as I'm breathing, see as justice was served in that case. That's always going to be seen to me as an injustice to black people. That's just as bad as it was when they killed Emmett Till. He killed that boy for no damn reason. And you had white people, because he was a black kid, saying, "Well, I mean, he was smoking marijuana when he was in school. Well, he had a picture of him with a gun." All of that stuff happened before he was murdered. And we allow that to happen, man. But then let one of their kids go missing, or we always the culture who seem to understand other people, whereas a lot of times other people don't seem to understand us being human beings.
Well, that comes from us not sticking together, man. That's that unity that we don't have as a human race. I was just speaking about that on Facebook Live right now, man. You know, it's a race. They think I'm talking about running on your feet. Now I'm talking about different cultures out here. We last and everything.
Yeah.
You know, we don't own no hotels. We don't own no airlines. We don't own nothing. We make $1.3 trillion a year annually in the United States alone, and we spend all our money with every other race but ourselves. And that is unacceptable.
And why do you think that's the reason, though? What's the reason that we do that?
We don't own nothing. We don't own anything.
So what you're saying is we more or less consumers and we're not producers.
Exactly. We are consumers and not producers. And that's what the problem is.
And so,
even in the hair industry.
Okay, but let's go back to we'll come back to that one. What about the NFL? Why can't we be producers in NFL? How come we got all these millionaires?
You know what I believe?
Why can't they pull their money together and create some seed money to start a new league and then get the rest of it from investments?
Well, first of all, you got these young athletes coming out of college that don't have no money.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the Michael Jordans. I'm talking about the people who have retired and they're still wealthy. I'm talking about the ones who are playing now, who are wealthy, who've been playing for seasons. They're going to be retiring soon.
Bill Cosby tried to do that with the news media, with the one of that station, and what they do to him. They crush him. I ain't making no excuses. Okay. It could be done. It could easily be done.
All right, well, go back to what you were saying then about the hair thing, because if we can't think of that on that level, and all we can think about is unity as far as hair and car washes. Let's get all the car washes together. Come on, man. Let's get these NBA players together and y'all stand up and start y'all own damn thing and get off the plantation.
That's because they don't want to stick together. I ain't making no excuses for them. They got all the millions and the billions of dollars. Jay-Z, Puffy. It's a few entertainers that can get together, got enough money, they can buy their own team. And they gotta kick that door in. They gotta let them in the NFL. It's 32 owners in the NFL, and everything goes through the 32 owners. There's not one black owner in the NFL.
Right.
Majority owner.
Right.
So they gotta vote you in. But
so you're saying the black person they have a disadvantage because they really don't have no power?
They don't have no power.
Okay. Back to my other thing. So how come the mostly 80% of black players don't get the hell off every single damn team? Because then you'll have power. Because what do the billionaires have without the teams, man?
Nothing.
Without the players, what do they have? Because what did the buses have when black people quit jumping on them? A lot of revenue that they lost.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to get people's attention, you got to hit their pockets.
Exactly. So, but the thing about the NFL is you got these athletes coming out of college, and this was the point I was just trying to make. They don't have no money.
The wherewithal,
They don't have the wherewithal. They don't have none
I ain't
of that.
talking about them, though.
I know you're not talking about them. You're talking about the retirees like the Shaqs and all these ones that got money. And you don't have to. We
got enough ball players, man, already.
In every single sport, there's enough multi-millionaires. 10 of them can come together and buy any franchise.
Imagine 50 of them.
Exactly.
50 of them.
So we do have the resources.
50 of them who got $20 million to invest.
Yeah. Oh, man.
50 of them.
More than $20 million.
But no, hold on. But that's the seed money. Because if you got 50 black players and each 50 of them, you do the math. I know you're good at that. 50 of them each donate $20 million each one of them. That's the seed money. You don't think investors gonna come in after that?
$1 billion.
You don't think investors gonna come in after that?
Yeah, but
that's business. That's how business work. You think billionaires spend all their money when they make a new investment? Hell no. You think Trump, when he put up a new hotel, most of them hotels that got Trump's name on it, what I found out, he don't even own them.
He don't.
They just pay him to use the name.
Use his name. They sure do. All over the world. They just pay him to use his name. See, the thing about that is there's no unity, bro.
That's all I'm saying.
And then when somebody do come together, then you got somebody else finding a way to knock what they trying to do.
But they've been doing that to black people. That ain't even a good excuse because they've been doing it for so long. By now, we should know the hook. By now, we should see it coming. Because we know now that, the FBI was pitting the Nation of Islam and Malcolm X against each other. So when we look at all them black and white films and Malcolm X is on the thing saying, they're probably going to kill me. And then next black and white is the Muslims. We ain't bothering him. Evidently, something must be wrong with Malcolm. But behind the scenes of all of that turmoil and all of that bullshit was the FBI sending letters to Nation of Islam saying shit that Malcolm wasn't even saying, sending letters to Malcolm, calling Malcolm on the phone, with having black people call him on the phone, threaten his life and hang up on him and keep this thing going between two groups of black people. Keep it going between them so they can kill each other off. And that's the same thing that we be dealing with right now. This government will pit us against each other. And that's the problem with us as black people. Is we find more things that we don't have in common than just standing on the stuff that we do have in common, whatever that is. Number one thing we do have in common that we all black. Number two, we all want to see our kids be successful. We want to see our grandkids go into the future. We all want to be successful. I mean, we can all just stand on that right there. We should be able to get some stuff done. Yeah, just that alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Let's get to the next subject, though.
All right. So the next subject is Spotify stands by Joe Rogan. And so it says here, canceling voices. This is what Spotify said. They said canceling voices is a slippery slope. Also, Joseph James Rogan, which is his name, is an American podcaster, a UFC commentator. He's a comedian. He's an actor. He also was the former television presenter for The Fear Factor. Also, India Arie came out,
I seen it.
Hail to the Queen. Mad respect for
India Arie, man, for saying that. Take my music off of Spotify.
India Arie leads Spotify over their support over Joe Rogan and his N-word use. And also, Neil Young, he left before her over Rogan's COVID misinformation. And not just that, India Arie claims she referred to a movie theater was filled with black people.
And he called them monkeys.
He said something about it was a bunch of Planet of the Apes or something like that.
He did.
Even Trevor Noah condemned that. And also Rogan has, check this out, if you want to know why Spotify is sticking by him, they just inked a $100 million deal with them to buy his podcast.
Yeah, I know. I seen that.
That's big money.
He gave him $100 million, and then he come out with all of these clips of him using the N-word over his period of time of his career. And they stood by him anyway. They say, we're not gonna get rid of him. Honestly, I'm not gonna use the guy's name. I'm gonna call him a character, because based off of what I've seen, the footage that I've seen, the videos that I've seen, the information that I've read the last few days when I was on the road before I came home, he's a character. He's definitely, he's trying to clean it up now, make it seem like he's not racist. But to me, you are racist. To say that you went to a movie theater in a black neighborhood and when you walked in there, it was the Planet of the Apes, you are racist. Simple as that. You don't make jokes. And then they paid him $100 million. And then what makes it even worse, what really killed me, is Spotify would have got rid of him. It's another company out there called Muscle, I believe. They offered him another $100 million to bring his people to their format. So it's just like you can use words to make money when it comes to racism. And that's crazy, and it's been around a long time, but now nobody care. And let's go back to that first subject we were talking about. What? That's the reason why 50 black people with all of that money should get together and have their own. So now you ain't got to worry about that.
Yep.
Now you can fire somebody, get up there and say some stuff like that.
But on top of that, black people, we need to have that same energy when it comes to us doing the same fucking thing to each other. Because we sitting around and say, because now they got a whole reel of Joe Rogan saying the N-word. And I ain't in support of Joe Rogan. But he got a whole reel of him saying the N-word. But you can put on somebody's CD and ride around in your car until you get home. You done heard the N-word more than 100 times anyway. So that's why they use it. Because they hear us using it so much. They hear us glorifying it. They hear us throwing it around. We call women bitches. We call women hoes. We refer to each other as that. So that's why we perpetuate it. That was in our first video when we were talking about how we, as black people, perpetuate a lot of things that were started. We didn't start a lot of negative things, but we bought into the bullshit, and now we perpetuate it, like drug dealing, like talking down to black women, not uplifting black women, I don't think any group of men, disrespect their group of women as much as we do as black men. I really don't hear a lot of country music, man. And I was forced. I'm not a country music fan, but I was in the Walmart, so I was forced to hear 2 country songs back to back while I was in the store shopping. And them songs were talking about women too. One dude had got his heart broken, one of the songs. He ain't call her no B, no hoe, or no nothing, or even talk about whooping her ass. He just talking about having a drink and he trying to soothe his heart. So we've been conditioned to even women listen to that kind of music. Even women listen to it. But what do you mean? Well, how can we as a group of people get mad when Joe Rogan do it when we got people who do it all of the time?
Mad because of that. Because let me tell you why. Because one thing when them guys in them studios making that music, they making music for it. A&R, all these big record labels who are pretty much telling them what they're not really telling them, you know what I'm saying, but guiding them. Okay, we don't like it like this. You got to do it a little bit like this. In order for a guy to make money and become successful, they know that's just like the East Coast, West Coast rap feud, man. That was feuded by the media. That was feuded by the record labels to try to sell records. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't saying, okay, yeah, so black people should take a stand right now and be like, we ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. But then you know what the record label gonna do? Oh, well, you ain't gonna be our artist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, people looking at it like, I better do this, I can do this, or they're not going to give me that paycheck. And that's what people looking at it like. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad.
All I'm saying is country music is big.
Yeah, it is.
Country music is major.
It is.
And they don't dog their women out. All I'm saying is rock music is big. Rock music get a lot of money. And every damn song is not talking about they women.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't understand why only way we can make money is to sell death and destruction to our kids.
Well, it's racism. It's called by racism. We don't own nothing.
Right.
We don't own nothing.
Right.
It goes back to racism.
Yeah.
It goes back to racism. It go back to the Willie Lynch syndrome.
But we picked the ball up.
And we ran with it.
And we produced this music ourselves. Death Row didn't treat black people no better than the white record companies. They didn't treat their artists no better. Puffy didn't treat his artists no better than the white record label. Didn't treat them no better because they figured out the formula how to rob. It's a system to rob you.
Yeah,
and they figured it out.
Right.
And they didn't figure it out and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to do it the right way. Berry Gordy didn't do it the right way. Come on, man. Y'all better do your research. Berry Gordy was giving people just enough, a car, something nice. A lot of artists got played by Berry Gordy. So it was a lot of time. I mean, what did Don King do when he figured out the boxing game? He robbed them just like the white ones did. Come on, man. What do some of our black police officers do when they finally get in the suit? They mess around and shoot you in your head quicker than the white officer. Now that they part of that game.
That's that racism, man. It's all boiled down.
But what I'm saying is that we buy into it. And we don't, and even if we do get behind the curtain and get inside the system, we're going to do each other the same way the white man been doing us.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to Barack Obama. Because do you think Barack Obama made a difference?
I was just proud that he was black man became president and he ain't fuck up.
I think Barack Obama made a difference, though, man.
I'm just glad he wasn't getting no oral sex while he was in the damn Oval Office. And he wasn't cheating on his wife or whooping on his kids or getting drunk or running around. I was just glad he handled his business as a man.
He took care of his business.
He handled his business. Say what you want about him. The man handled his business as a man. He stayed with his family and he's still with his family. I got mad respect for that.
Yeah, for sure. And
mad respect for what he did.
So there's some hope out there when it comes to that, man. But our unity it's been divide and conquer from day one. It's been divide and conquer from day one, and it's been perpetuated through the media.
And we know that because of our age and we've been through it. The young people don't know it.
I lived it. I'm living it right now. That's why I separate myself and I stay to myself. I really don't watch a lot of news. I mean, because to me,
I don't either.
It's propaganda. They trying to throw you off. I try to read and try to do my research, but I didn't live long enough to know what is what. I could see it coming a mile away. And that's just the way I see it. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? We talking about. Once again, we talking about this guy named Rogaine.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. I'm gonna call him a character. He used the N word on multiple occasions, but they paid him $100 million to stay on. They gave him a new contract. They didn't want to fire him. He done made crazy remarks talking about going to a movie theater, and when he walked in, it looked like the Planet of the Apes, which me was saying that it was too many black people in there. So then he came on there and tried to apologize about it. He tried to apologize about it. I seen several apologies that he was trying to make about it, and I didn't go for it. I didn't like it. I felt like what he was saying, was a bunch of bullshit. That's why I call him a character. That's just what it is. So we can move to the next subject because I don't want to give him too much attention.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the end. That's the last subject.
Oh, that's the last subject?
That's the last one right there.
All right, that's cool, though. But again, when we out here every week, we're going to try to do 2 of these a week right now.
Hey, come here. Come on, Cass.
But to all these athletes out here with this money, to all of these rappers and these they go Cash right here. This is the little Cash right here. To all of the to the superstars that got all this money, we need to start owning something. We have enough resources to do our own thing. We have enough to start buying our own property. Saying that and everybody hear this all the time. We always say this, but nobody's really out there to do it. But let's talk about one more subject. I don't know if you heard about it or not. Will Smith and Jay-Z was supposed to be teaming up together to start some type of program that
I heard about something they were supposed
housing.
to be doing.
They was doing some housing.
Okay.
For people where you can go in and you can buy your own homes. Did you hear anything about that?
I heard something about something they was doing, but I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, so I seen it 2 or 3 times. I didn't really look up to follow it. I read a little bit on it. So Will Smith and Jay-Z supposed to have teamed up, and what they're doing is they're supposed to be starting a program where you can buy your own home through them or something like that. Next time we come back on, I'm gonna have a little bit more information about it. We're gonna discuss that, and I'm gonna see what everybody feel about that. You know what I'm saying? It's a start. It's a start somewhere. Somebody needs to start doing something. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, shout out to LeBron James for the school that he started there in Akron and some other things that he's been doing, helping mentor young men, because I know we've been talking about players and what they haven't done. So, and all the other players or sports athletes that's out there that's doing positive things in your community. We're not trying to slight y'all. We know a lot of y'all are out there doing things. And we know a lot of people in the sports industry are out there making an impact and making a difference. So it's not to slight anybody. But what we were trying to say is, as a whole, we need more independence as black people. And not just that, but as sports players, as they start to retire and start to transition out of sports, they need something of their own where they could begin to hire other black athletes. And, because if you've been through the process, from the time you were in little league to middle school to high school to college and then the NFL, and now you retired, then you know the whole process and you know the system. So who better to create a better system than people like that? So that's all we were trying to say, is that we hope to see more get done as far as in the communities and things like that. So shout out to all of the people out there that are making a difference in sports and things like that.
Yeah, and big move they made this weekend with big trade went off between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. Sent James Harden over to Philly, and then sent their superstar over to Brooklyn. That's the top news right now that's going on. That was big too, but they try to make it look like Kevin Durant is mad at, James Harden and all of this. That media will throw us off all the time, We'll talk about that later on. My brother really not into sports like that, but, I am a little bit. But once again, we here every single week. We appreciate y'all. We want y'all to subscribe. We want y'all to like, and we want y'all to share, and give us some feedback. Let us know what y'all think. Appreciate y'all. God bless.
Peace out.